Welcome to a visualization of making garden bouquets in late spring. Sit back, relax, close your eyes, and enjoy picturing each thing in this visualization. It's a beautiful, sunny day. The air coming in the open windows is cool. I pull on a thin sweatshirt and trot down the stairs, feeling full of life and joy. In the kitchen, I grab some flower clippers. Then I head out to the entryway and slip into some comfy sandals. Opening the door, I hear birds singing. I hear the breeze in the trees. I especially love the sound of the wind in the spruce trees. It's like this happy sigh, and I take a deep breath. I smell the spruce. I smell flowers, just this overall spicy sweetness. As I look out ahead, I see a bright yellow bush, and I think that's going to be something to smell up close. Birds swoop around me and land in the bird bath as I walk out off the front steps and into the grass. I feel the soft grass springy under my feet. The wrens have the most beautiful rippling song. And then I hear splashing. A blue jay is busily splashing in the bird bath. And I know I'm going to have to refill that with water soon. I have reached the yellow bush, and the air is full of a spicy, sweet perfume. Part of that, the extra spicy part, is coming from the pink rose bush right behind this yellow rose bush. The yellow isn't quite as tall as me. It's a little under 5 feet, but it's getting so big around, and it's covered with dozens and dozens of these small, wildish looking yellow roses. The pink rose bush is getting taller than me. That one's getting just over 6 feet. And that scent it's a heady scent. It's something to make you stop and wow, from those little flowers, such a delicate pink. I reach out and touch one. The petals are so soft. I remember when I was cleaning around this bush early in the spring, and it was just budding and coming to life with the first leaves. Even the stems have this spicy smell. I look at the third rose bush, and there is the first little bud. And these are going to be deep red hunter roses, and they are spicy in a different way. I clip a few buds and blooms, and each clip can get several blossoms, several roses, and a couple of unopened buds at once. And I mix the yellow and the light pink in my hand. They are prickly, but not full, strong, thick thorns, just little prickly ones. So they kind of tickle my hand. I bury my nose in that handful, and it's amazing. No wonder these bushes are buzzing with bees. There's a bumblebee 5 times louder than all the other bees. It's so funny to watch them hover and then dig in. It looks like that bumblebee is trying to dig straight through the center of the rose. Well, my hands are actually full already and not ready to get any more flowers. Plus, I don't think I'm going to mix anything else with these roses. So I trot back to the house and pull out a vase, a perfect size, a clear vase. I put some cool water in it and drop my handful into the water. It's automatically arranged. So beautiful, so fragrant. I decide I want this in our bathroom. So I go and set it on the dark stone countertop by the white sink. And it just adds so much life and color and fragrance to this dark room. Back outside, I am heading for the flower garden. The perennials are taking off, and one after another type of flower is just popping open. More are coming. It's going to be a bower all season long. So far, the lilacs have finished. The lily of the valley have bloomed and dried up. And the bleeding heart is about done. The tulips are done several weeks ago. But the peonies have not quite opened yet. I stop and look at the balls of buds, and they're getting so big, and color is cracking open at the top. Here's our dark pink. There's our light pink. We have a couple more around here. And then I smell something so funny out here. It smells like a fake food flavoring, like fake grape jelly. It's that iris bush over there. So I head over and look at our light purpley periwinkle sort of iris bush. And yep, here's where the scent is coming from. And it just makes me laugh. It is so unflower-like. Nearby is the fernleaf peony that has actually finished, because that's way earlier than the others. Oh, I had a beautiful bouquet of that earlier. Deep red, scarlet, and they were sweet smelling. There is our kind of average purple iris, but wow, that has covered so much more of the flower bed than I remembered. It's multiplying. And here, I'm going to walk up and see this. Our biggest iris, not the biggest bush, but the biggest flower, is almost a black. It's such a deep purple. I lean down to look at them and marvel. It's like velvet. When you stroke it one way, it gets lighter. You stroke it the other way and it gets deep, dark colored. Wow. So I go around and gather a few iris stems. On each stem, there's more than one flower at different heights. There are buds yet to open. There are some iris blooms already done and shriveled up and drippy, and they stain my fingers when I touch them to cut them off. Oh, this will be an amazing bouquet. Just iris, or should I put something else with them? I walk back up towards the house, and I suddenly see our false indigo bush. Perfect. It blends absolutely perfectly in color. It has a purpley blue tone that matches just right with these two tones of iris that I picked. I didn't pick the grape jelly kind. That's just too funny smelling for me. I enjoy it outside though. So I cut some stems of false indigo, and they're so quirky and playful. These long, thin spires with little buds. How are they shaped? Kind of shaped like lima beans, but a little smaller. They're sort of flattish and oval, and it's green at the stem, and then they have this purpley blue flower starting to emerge from the top of every bud, and the buds are just spaced back and forth all the way along the stem. And I once again hear splashing. Oh, there is our songster taking a bath. The brown thrasher. We love to hear brown thrashers show up each spring. We hear them before we see them because they are the mimicking birds of our northern area. And I wonder if I will be able to hear this one sing in the bushes or the trees later today. But I think they've gotten a little quieter since it's nesting season. But there's such a funny one. I think back to this spring when I heard this long repertoire that doesn't repeat very quickly at all, and except that it does every tone twice in a row. Every bird song that it's copying twice in a row. Oh, there the thrasher flies away, all shiny wet. So I add my my spikes of false indigo, very light and airy and whimsical, into my stack of iris that I've laid on the bench nearby. And then looking around, I see I could use some greens. Sometimes I've used hosta leaves, but the hostas here are gigantic. The leaves would be too big for a vase. So there, I've never tried that before, but the greens from the lily of the valley look like they could be really fun in this bouquet. The flower spikes down in the lily of the valley are all getting dried up and papery. So I just reach down a leaf and go down quite a ways into the cool darkness. It's such a tight mass. And then I pull smoothly and strongly up, and it slides out of the ground, or out of its sheath that's in the ground. Just like when I pick the spikes of flowers, they just come sliding out and feel so cool and rubbery. Oh, when I pulled one leaf stem, I thought I actually got two at slightly different heights. I like that. So I reach down another one in a very thick area of greens, and I keep pulling some out, and they come out in sets of 2 every time, and that's going to be great, just filling up the bouquet, the gaps, and giving it kind of a backdrop so that these iris can really show. Gathering all my bouquet parts in my hands, I step back into the house. It feels cool in here because I'm not in the sun, but the windows are letting in the nice fresh air. I can still hear bird songs in here. I go to the kitchen again, lay out my flowers, and try to be very gentle how I lay down the iris. They look so fragile, but they're amazingly strong. These iris have been out in heavy rains and high winds already, and they're still beautiful. I turn on the hot water pot to get some tea brewing while I work on this bouquet. I think it'll be the perfect time to sit down with a cup of green tea after this and enjoy the flowers. So in the cupboard, I grab a couple of vases and I set them down and think which one would be best. The white milk glass with the kind of dotty raised spots all in white all over it, or the clear glass cylinder. I'm liking the white. So I put some cool water in there and start holding up my stalks of iris. That one is too tall. This vase isn't quite as tall as it could be, but it's just too beautiful. I'm going to cut the stems shorter and enjoy the shorter vase. So I take each iris stem one by one, trim off the used up spent blossoms, and set them in the vase. And then these are so chunky and so sturdy that they give me a great structure in the vase. Then I can fill in some lily of the valley greens, and I start putting them around the back. They're like the wall that the flowers can grow up against and be just shown off for their beauty. And I stick some down kind of around the front and in between them so they look like they just grew together. Each snip of stems has this kind of squishy scrunch that sounds so fresh. And then I quickly poke it into the vase of water so it can start drinking right away. Then I drop in the false indigo spikes, and I like it how some of them actually had the leaves on them. The leaves are so light and airy, very flat bunches of little oval leaves. Such a kind of a soft minty green. And I like that mix against the dark green of the lily of the valley leaves and the different shades of the purples and bluish tones. I step back and look at it on the counter. I think I'm going to trim that one a little bit more to give it a not such a studied shape. I want it to look like a wild bouquet just picked together and held in a hand. But meanwhile, my water's done boiling. So I go over to the pantry and pull out my mug that says Jesus wins. I love that reminder. Then I go over to the water pot, and right above there is our tea collection. I grab a tea ball and fill it half full with green tea. I hear it snap shut, and I set it in my mug. And then add boiling water that has such a sloshy sound as it's swirling into the mug. Back at the bouquet, I look around, where am I going to set this one? How about by the fireplace against the brick wall? It's just a favorite place for our live bouquets in the summer, spring, fall. So I take down the potted plant and set that on the brick hearth and place this white vase full of beauty onto a little wooden table against the bricks. It's an antique table, quarter sawn wood, gentle, graceful, curved legs, a little drawer, and a little shelf down lower. It could almost seem like an old washstand, but there are no rods for hanging towels. It just gives the right foundation to flowers and plants. And I arrange this on the tabletop next to a stone, a beautiful chunk of pink, or it's called rose quartz, that we bought on a trip, on a vacation. And then there's a little statue of a bird made from cement. Just such real, natural, neutral colors all mixed here that add structure and beauty to this whole view. I go back and get my tea mug and take it to the couch and sit down, sinking into the soft cushions. I feel the cool of the leather on my skin, and I feel the softness of the down feathers stuffing it. Taking a sip of my tea, I smell it. It smells so fresh and tart and tangy, but also comforting. And raising my eyes, I see the bouquet straight in front of me, against the bricks, next to the fireplace. What a soothing and rewarding thing it is to make a bouquet, to get out in God's beautiful creation and look at just a couple of his marvels, of his wonders. And I can look and look deeper into these flowers and be more and more in awe. The delicate parts that were created to make these not only beautiful, but make them be able to reproduce and spread and thrive, even in the pounding rain and blowing winds here on the prairie. God is such an artist. It's amazing that He gave us, one part of His creation, people, the ability to be creative like He is. And I just sit back and drink my tea and thank the Lord for this special time. Thank you for joining me for this visualization. On my channel, you'll find a variety of topics, and each visualization is meant to help calm your stress response and reset your nervous system for health and peace and joy for life.